So it felt really good. And then I was lying there, and I just was like, okay, I gotta stand up now. And I collapsed from standing up, and I needed help.
Hello. Hi, my name is Kat. I'm from My Vegan Experiment / Vegan Diver Cat, and today I have a very serious topic to discuss with you guys. So this is something I've been putting off from sharing for a very long time, for about two and a half years, and it's simply because I was not ready to talk about it. I suffered from some really bad back pain a couple of years ago. It was actually around the time when I was in Cambodia. I don't know if you guys remember those videos, but I wasn't posting as much, and it's basically because I was in agony. So what I'm going to do with this video is kind of tell you what happened to my back, how bad it got, and then what I did to fix it and just be back to normal, back to my old self. So to start off with, I don't know what happened to my back. I really, no doctor has ever told me any particular thing, but basically I started having a spine which was curving. I think it's like onset scoliosis. It wasn't scoliosis yet, but it was starting to curve. And then I had 3 slip discs in my lower vertebrae. So slip discs is basically when the part between your bones, I didn't study biology, sorry, gets squished, so your bones start rubbing, and it's very painful. That pinched my sciatic nerve, which goes down my whole left leg, and it basically meant I would struggle getting in and out of vehicles, I would struggle sitting down, and then within 3 weeks of it being kind of just uncomfortable, it went from bad to the worst thing that has probably ever happened to me. Doctors kind of blamed my footwear and a whole bunch of other stuff. They blamed horse riding because I used to horse ride when I was younger. But genuinely what I think it was is because I'm a scuba diving instructor and I carry tanks, I must have picked up 1 or 2 tanks wrong, so not using the correct lifting technique. And that had a big impact on my back. And then because I didn't really work out or do yoga or do any back strengthening exercises, my muscles actually weakened to the point where the whole spine shifted, crunched those discs. Again, not a biologist, not a doctor. This is just my hypothesis. The result was on my 22nd birthday, 23rd, 22nd, 23rd, I'm not sure. On one of those birthdays, I was up in Ningaloo Reef, and I was just experiencing the worst pain of my life. I couldn't really sleep because I couldn't lie down. Sitting was really uncomfortable. I would spend most of my days stretching, kind of just going off what I could see on YouTube, like how to stretch your lower back, going through that. And yeah, then I went back to Perth where I was living at the time, and it got so bad. The reason I've never really been ready to talk about it is it was still too raw. The pain of back pain is something I would not wish on to anyone, especially when it gets that bad. I couldn't walk really. I would hobble around like a 80-year-old hunched over woman. I couldn't sleep. I would wake up at least every hour to have to stretch out my back, just so I could lie down. I couldn't sit. I would try all those seating positions and nothing was comfortable, so I could just kind of stand, and there'd be nights where I would literally just get up from bed and just stand and just start crying because I couldn't move. I tried a lot of things for the pain, so my dad obviously told me not to take too many opiates or anything like that, but I did take some pretty heavy anti-pain drugs. They didn't help. I drank a bit, didn't help. I smoked some weed, didn't help. It reached the point where I jokingly messaged one of my friends, like, oh, you think heroin would help? And he replied, and I'll never forget this, and he says, you know, a lot of people in this world actually get hooked on drugs like heroin because of back pain. And that blew my mind, because in that moment, the pain I was in, I was like, I get it. I really get it.
So I never planned to just be completely vulnerable about everything out there, but I was doing my exercises to help my back, and I was feeling really proud and good because I could do the 3 that my physio gave me, and by the end I wasn't feeling any pain, so it felt really good. And I was lying there, and I just was like, okay, I gotta stand up now, and I collapsed from standing up, and I needed help.
And I actually had to be supported to hear. Back pain is real, and back pain is an issue, and I somehow let the sciatica get out of hand. So I need to now take steps to fix it, hopefully for good, because I can't do this.
I was in such a dark place, and just in agony so many hours of my day. I would hobble about and, you know, try and get something done, but there'd be times when I would try and stand up and I'd get a spasm and I would literally fall back to the ground.
The evening ring the walls in perfect harmony. Where are you going?
I don't know. I didn't know how to kind of put that together with my life. Like, I was, you know, 22 and relatively healthy and fit and eating well, and how could this be happening to me? Luckily, my neighbors saw me hobbling about, and they recommended a physio, and Allah, genuinely, she saved my life. I went there just for a few sessions, and even after a few sessions, I felt the whole thing opening up. So how did I fix this agony back? Oh, it got so much worse when I was in Cambodia. Then I had to fly home because of it, and I had to be on a wheelchair. So I was like on a wheelchair through the airport, and then on the plane, I couldn't sit for the, I don't know, like 8 hours to fly home from Cambodia. And I tried to do some stretches, and I collapsed onto the ground, and I was just there crying in so much pain, and the stewardesses were like, ma'am, you can't be on the ground. And I couldn't get up. I literally couldn't get up, and they got so worried. They called the pilot. They got a doctor on board to come assess me, who gave me some really heavy pain medication. They upgraded me to like premium, so I had a bit more space. But I was just shaking, and it was horrible. And they actually wheeled me out to my mom in a wheelchair, and it was, the thing is, like, could be embarrassed or something, but the pain just, I didn't care. I didn't care about anything for those few months. So how did it get better? So thanks to Allah, who is my wonderful, wonderful physiotherapist friend, Elena from Czech Republic. She combined several methodologies to really help me fix my back. So she did a combination of like yoga type poses in physio, which were really like minimal impact. So I'm gonna share with you some of these poses. So the main one would start on the back, kind of rocking back and forth, try and loosening up those muscles. We had some gentle spine twists. Again, all of this was agony, but again, to open up those hip joints to release that sciatic nerve. Then we also did a lot of like little Sphinx poses. That was agony. The whole back was really locked up, but with moving my legs a little bit, it really helped. So those were some of the kind of stretching out poses. In terms of what to do to actually fix it, she said the biggest thing, you need to build up that muscle mass around your spine to just make sure it's nice and healthy. And this is why things like deadlifting and like planks and various exercises for your core are so important. And I really underestimated this. I was like, I'm 22, I don't need this. Turns out I really did. And yeah, so she showed me a combination of like different planks, different core strengthening exercises. There's some really cool like sliding ones, all to strengthen your core. And then the last part is this really strange system that I have only heard about in Czech Republic, and it's called SM systems. And now I don't know how they created this, but it is astonishing, and it truly changed my life. Basically what you do is you have these bungee cords, and they work to create like little resistance training, but it's really light, so you hardly feel it. So you just have these bungee cords, and you're doing these minute movements. I know there's classes in Prague and Brno, and I talked to so many of my friends back home in Czech Republic, and so many of them were doing it. And there was like people who had scoliosis, there were people who were really tall and had like growth spurt issues, there were people who managed to pinch nerves, there were people with all sorts of discs as well. All of them were being healed by this particular like light resistance training kind of mechanism. So all you do with these bungee straps, you do these particular little poses, you do minimal movements, and it's enough to do it like 10 minutes a day. And it really just strengthens your entire core, all your muscles gently, but strong enough that it actually can hold your spine strong. So that is what I would do when I'd wake up in the middle of the night. So I could always do like 10 minutes of those exercises, and then I was able to sleep for for like an hour. And then I'd have to wake up again and do that again. So for about 3 months, I had to do these exercises, and I want to say like 6 to 10 times a day, just so I could sleep, just so I could sit down, just so I could function as a human being. And it really changed my life. Since then, I've tried to keep my core strong by doing yoga, so I do yoga much more regularly now. I actually went to classes and learned better about posture and all of that. I've also been reading the book How Yoga Works, which has helped me in terms of the like mental state of what happens when you get things like back pain. And yeah, I still do work with the bungee straps, not as much anymore, but I also abide by some very important rules. So when I was in this agony-filled life, Allah would tell me what I should be avoiding. So big things to avoid: chairs. Chairs are the devil. Basically now everyone sits their whole life on a chair in the office, and it's just so bad for our back. That is not a natural position for us to be in. So standing desks, awesome alternative. Get one of those like round balls and like sit on it once in a while between your desk and your desk chair. Like if you can't get a standing desk or something else, make sure you get up, make sure you move, and most importantly, if you do have to sit at a desk, make sure you do enough back exercises to keep your back strong. So yeah, chairs are the devil. Number 2, couches are the real devil. Ever since then, I've basically stopped sitting on couches, because just during those few months, it was the worst. I couldn't move up, and it's just, couches usually put you in such a weird position. It's so easy to create some sort of damage, especially if you're going through second puberty, as Jenna Marbles put it very aptly. Which is, your body just stops getting better and starts disintegrating a little bit. So yeah, not fun. So chairs are the devil, couches are the devil. So I spend a lot of my time now sitting on the ground. So I like sitting on the ground, either in like a cross-legged position, or then like with my knees, you know, like sideways, you know what I mean. And in general, I'll always opt for the ground over a chair, just because that is much more like how we're meant to be doing things. So yeah, trying to do that. And then lastly, of course, is, don't cross your legs when you're sitting, because that misaligns your whole thing. Heels are really not good for us, no matter what like I was told in Eastern European culture that it strengthens your legs and all that. They're not good. They can cause some serious issues. And then lastly, of course, is take care of your back, guys. Please do exercise and please lift carefully. So I do not wish this pain I experience on anyone in my life. So genuinely, if you experience even the slightest back pain, go get help now before it gets really bad. Just get that strength in, make sure the muscles around your spine are strong. So even if you do pick up something wrong or if you do some bad movement, there's enough muscle there to just keep your spine nice and strong and straight. It's so important. And of course, stay away from the drugs. Hugs, not drugs. Take care of your back and you won't need to get into heroin. I hope this has been a little bit helpful. Let me know down below, do you experience back pain? What do you do to kind of help manage it? And yeah, I look forward to see you guys next time. Hopefully this video has been helpful, and yeah, check out SM Systems, get that yoga, and do those planks.